under physics.
Oh, yes, ma'am, I can see it.
Okay, you can see that later. Anyway, we are not following strictly the book, that book.
Okay.
So yesterday we had a recap session. I hope everything is like clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will continue. So we will, what about the homework? What homework I gave? I think I just wrote told to read the NCERT book, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Fine, not a problem. You read today, okay?
Okay.
Just I suggest you to read the separation of substance, that book also, because it will also be helpful.
Okay.
And what about the separation of substance? Completely recording all done?
Yes, ma'am, I have seen all the
Okay,
recordings.
no doubts in that chapter?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So yesterday we were talking about joints and many things based on joints. So I just gave a glimpse about how we can divide the joints. Joints are divided into two. Like we can separate them based on the based on the movement and based on the structure, both. Then based on the movement, we have like movable joint, slightly movable joint, and freely movable joint. And based on
Yes.
the structure, we have fibrous joint, cartilaginous joint, and synovial joint. And already we saw what we saw the diagram of synovial joint, right? This is synovial joint. We already saw the
Yes.
diagram of synovial joint, how it looks and all. We'll now see, in deep, we'll see more deep. So what is first? Movable joints. So movable joints or synovial joints, they are like given in the bracket. These are the most common types of joint in the body and allow for a wide range of movement. Example include the ball and socket joint, shoulder and hip, hinge joint, knee and elbow, pivot joint between atlas and axis vertebra in the neck. This area, in the neck area.
Yes, ma'am.
So movable joint, as the name suggests, you can move it. You can move it
Yes.
very freely. That is movable joint, right? So what are the joints you can move very freely? This joint, elbow, you can move very freely. The neck,
Yes.
you can move very freely. Legs, you
Yes.
can move very freely. So whatever the joints that you can move very freely, they come under movable joints. Second is
Yes.
immovable joint. You don't have to memorize this. Synarthrosis. You don't have to remember this. Just information. Also known as fixed or fibrous joints. These joints allow little or no movement. Little movement will be there or no movement. So they are typically found in areas where rigidity and support are needed, such as skull structure. Can you move your skull inside your brain? Can you move? See, I
No.
can move the head and see, I can move only neck. Right.
Yes.
Neck is only the thing that I can move. The joint, neck is only the joint that between the body and the head. But if I hold on the neck, if you're telling me to move the head, can I move? No, right?
No.
I can't move this area. It's fixed. It's fixed. So these, but joints are there, muscles are there, there also. We have skeleton, no muscles are there, but skeleton is there still, right? Bones
Yes.
are there. So it is also a joint, but you cannot move them, right? Skull, you cannot move the skull. So because why you can't move the skull? Because we need the rigidity and support there. So that is the main system of our body. So we need the rigid support. If you are moving the skull, like if something is there, if some injury happened, then it should not be like you should not get any injury there. It's a very important part of our body. So it is designed in such a way. It is very closed and kept intact in between skull that is immovable, right?
Yes.
Coming under slightly movable. So you don't have to memorize this. Amphiarthrosis. So what is mean by the word amphi?
Mm, ma'am.
Amphibians. Do you know
Yes,
what
ma'am.
are amphibians? What are
Yes.
amphibians?
Animals which live in both water and.
So basically animals, so some sound is there, disturbance is there.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Now you're clear.
Okay, fine. So amphi means two. Amphi means two. The word amphi means two. So amphiarthrosis, slightly movable. So these joints allow for limited movement. They are more flexible than immovable. They are not very bad like immovable joints you cannot move at all. Not like that. You can move them to some extent, but less than freely movable joints. Example include the pubic symphysis and the joints between the vertebrae and the spine. Very good example is your spine. Spine is your backbone. Do you know where is the backbone?
Yes, ma'am.
You can move the backbone, but it's not like you can move very freely like your elbow and all. You can move till this extent, right?
Yes,
Beyond
ma'am.
that you cannot go, and in front you can go, and when you fully you go also, it's not like fully flexible. You don't have a vertebrae and spine. Wait a minute, I'll show the picture of this. I'll go to the internet. I think you won't be able to see. Wait, I'll get the picture. You will get more clarity. Where is that joint exactly located? Now I got it. Insert. Can you see? Can you imagine where this joint will be?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, right, where this joint will be. This is exactly your backbone. See, exactly your backbone. This joint is not 100% movable like your neck. You cannot do like this and all. Some extent only it can move, right? If you do more, it will be start paining. You will have back pains, right? One more picture I'll show. Spine. So what is this spine? Thoracic vertebra. Okay, wait a minute. Spine, spinal cord, spinal nerve. I'll take again, wait. So now I need you to understand. I mean, I want you to see where is this joint exactly like in the picture. Then it will be easy. Two minutes to wait, okay? I am showing you. Facet joints. They are called as facet joints. I got it. Wait. Yes. Can you see facet joints? So see, this is a facet. This is the actually extended view of this. This one is extended view of this. The joint, exactly this line is there, right? The joints between the vertebrae and spine is called facet joints. You can include. Don't want to munk up. If it is easy, you can read facet joints. The joint between vertebrae and spine is called facet joints. It's just this. So see here, facet joint. Can you see the facet joint?
Yes, ma'am.
It's exactly, I think here it is there. Somewhere here, here it will. This is a
Yes.
facet joint. So this is the cord. This is the cord. And here, this is exactly the facet joint. So this joint is slightly movable. You can move them very slightly, but it's not 100% you move them. It comes under slightly movable. Remember, it comes under Slightly
Slight.
movable joint. Facet joints come under slight movable joints. So these are the facet joints. The joints here. See here, it is actually here to here. These joints are actually facet joints. Here it is not here. I'll erase again. These are the facet joints. See here. Can you even
Yes.
imagine moving them so badly? No, right? You cannot move them. Immediately they'll move. When you move your vertebral column, the vertebral column, this is the whole thing. When you move the whole thing, little bit you will see the movement here. Not more than that.
Yes.
That is actually facet joint. Here it is there. So they are saying about that. Facet joint is an example of this. Then fibrous joint. Fibrous joints are connected by dense connective tissue such as collagen fibers. They allow for little or no movement and provide structural support. Example include structures in skull, sinus, same thing. This one only they are telling, immovable only they are telling like fibrous joints.
Yes.
Here, in that immovable joints only they have given also known as fibrous joints. So it's just repeating, same thing they are repeating again.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is actually, see, we are seeing here something called syndesmosis. Syndesmosis.
Sinus mass.
Syndesmosis structure is this. This is the structure of syndesmosis. See here, this is
Yes.
your our feet actually. This is our lower feet. Syndesmosis is something here. So one thing I'll tell you to find which is fibrous tissue. This is fibrous tissue. Fibrous tissue will be like this. We'll say now it will be like hairy structure.
Yes, ma'am.
Wherever the tissue is like hairy structure, see this is hairy structure, right? Tissues are in hairy, like it's looking like lot of lines together. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
I can zoom. Can you see? Lot of lines together are there here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if wherever you find the tissue is having lot of lines together, you can simply just by default you can say that fibrous tissue. Whenever fibrous tissue is there, they will be hairy in structure. They will be like hairy kind of structure will be there. So this is the white color hairy structures are called as syndesmosis. They are fibrous tissue. Don't have to mug up. Just for your reference, I'm telling. Okay, these are all not in your level. I'm just telling because you will have something. It will go in your mind. You won't forget it. Here. So this is some big. Don't get scared. This just no diagram. Here also syndesmosis is there. Can you see? This is
Yes, ma'am.
this part. The whole tissue, fibrous tissue, fully.
Yes.
The syndesmosis. So you don't have to really remember all these suture lines, sutures, antebrachial. You don't have to remember everything. You can just leave it. So for showing syndesmosis, I got this picture. Okay.
Yes.
This is our teeth actually. I think it's our teeth. Yeah. Root of the teeth, socket. I don't know why this picture is here. Maybe suture line. Syndesmosis. So this is the here. Our hand is only the zoomed up view of this our hand. The
Yes,
joint
ma'am.
is the upper and lower hand.
Yes, ma'am.
This joint only they are zooming up here. If you can
Yes.
see clearly. Coming to cartilaginous joints. These joints are connected by cartilage, either hyaline cartilage or fibrocartilage. They allow for slight movement and providing cushioning between bones. Example include the pubic symphysis and intervertebral disc in the spine. Wait a minute, I'll again show the picture for you. This also. We are not seeing the picture, it will be very confusing. Cartilage. So do you know what is cartilage first? Yes.
Ma'am, I think
Yeah.
There's something in our joints. I heard the word.
Yeah. That's why I hope I know that you might not know that. So what is cartilage? Cartilage is a strong, flexible connective tissue that's going to protect our joints and bones. They're going to simply protect, they are like synovial fluid. They're going to protect your joints and bones. They are connective tissues. It acts as a shock absorber throughout the body. Please remember these points. They absorb as a shock absorber. They are called as shock absorber. So, for example, I don't know whether it happened or not. Somewhere like suddenly joints, if you're just going and hitting in the wall, you will get a lot of pain. Suddenly you will, if you hit. That time, your joints may get damaged, right? If so, like you're muted. So if you're having joint, for example, elbow joints there. So just while walking, suddenly you just gone and hit. You got a hit on the wall here in this area. So will that pain for you?
Mom, a little.
Yeah, like it will be paining. Little if you're forcefully going and hitting there, it will pain a lot.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that time a joint will get a shock, right? Suddenly if you're going and hitting a wall, your joints will get a shock and they'll get damaged, right?
Yes, ma'am.
To protect that joints from that sudden damage, these cartilages, that is connective tissues, are acting as a shock absorber throughout our body. Wherever joints are there, these people will be there. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is cartilage. Now you are knowing what is cartilaginous joints. So these joints are connected by the cartilage itself. So what is cartilage? It is tissues. So group of tissues, they make up cartilaginous joints. Okay.
Yes.
Either hyaline, these are the name of the cartilage, hyaline cartilage or fibrocartilage. They allow slight movement and provide cushioning between bones. So they'll be actually present. So they are going to protect your joints and bones. Obviously, they will be between the bones only, right? So they'll be here and here in between the bones. So whenever you get a hit or sudden shock is there in the joint, they'll protect your joint and they act as a like shock absorber. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So this picture I'm not getting pubic. Wait.
Mom, cartilage and ligaments help like in connecting the joints.
Actually, the main purpose of cartilage is like not connecting. You see, it's a connective tissue that gonna protect your joints. They are not like ligaments. They don't play an important role like ligaments. They don't act as actually the ligament.
Okay.
We'll go to the ligament part. See here, strong bands of connective tissues. They actually ligaments also connective tissues. They are also connective tissues. But cartilages are also connective tissues. They act as a shock absorber. And I'll get the picture of this. Ligaments and cartilage. Wait. No. Now it will be clear. They're not the same thing. As I told you, they're not the same thing, obviously. To provide the difference, I'll paste here. If you read this, you will be clear. Yes, products. They protect the joints. That's it. They act as a shock absorber. No? They just protect the joint. They don't actually. They don't act as ligament. Okay. But both are connective tissues. Remember that also. Both are connective tissues, but they both are not same. Ligaments act as the connection between them. But whereas these people who are those cartilages are not going to be like ligament, but they are going to protect your joints from shock. Okay. See, these are also helping you to prevent the friction, to reduce the friction and prevent them from rubbing together from your joints. These are also acting as the same, like synovial fluid. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Pubic, I was getting the picture of this. Wait a minute. I got an image, but it's so good. See, don't have to get panic. Just see the diagram. That's why this is pubic symphysis. Secondary cartilaginous joint is also a joint consisting of fibrocartilaginous interpubic disc and surrounding ligaments and tying the body of pubic bones and median plane. Don't have to get scared. Just you see the diagram. So you don't know, right, what is pubic symphysis and intervertebral disc in spine. So this is actually our hip area,
Yes.
right? Can you guess it? This is our hip area, right?
Yes.
Can you guess that? And see, can you see here, vertebral column is there. The full picture is not there. This is the vertebral column, end of the vertebral column, right? End of the vertebral column. Here actually vertebral column will be there. So the
Yes.
joint that they are talking about is this particular joint that is going to connect the vertebral column and the hip bone. That is pubic symphysis.
Pubic
Don't have to
symphysis.
memorize, just remember it. So that is the best example of cartilaginous joints. So
Okay.
we have a lot of cartilaginous joints here because it's a very important area to protect. So what is the purpose of cartilage?
Ma'am, it protects our joints. It's a shock. It's like a shock absorber.
Very good. No confusion between cartilage, no confusion between ligaments and cartilage, right?
No, ma'am.
Like if you have confusion, you read this. A tendon is the tissue that connects muscle to bone. We know that. Ligament is an elastic band of tissue that connects bone to bone. We know that also. Provides stability to the joint. Cartilage is soft, jelly-like padding between bones and protects joints and facilitates movement. Okay? So shock
Yes.
up. Now coming to, yes, synovial joints. These are most complex and versatile joints in the body. They are characterized by the presence of synovial cavity, synovial fluid, right? So we already saw about synovial fluid, synovial cavity. Synovial cavity is nothing but synovial membrane. That's why synovial membrane is also only called a synovial cavity. Just a cavity, it will be like this, and inside that synovial fluid will be present, right? Obviously, they are helping in the lubrication to reduce the friction, right? We already know this during the
Yes.
movement. Examples including knee, elbow, shoulder joints, wherever the movement is very high. The movement is very, very high. There all synovial fluid will be present.
Ma'am,
The,
so all the movable joints are synovial joints too?
no, you are getting confused. They are actually called as joints. They are
Okay.
movable joints, of course. No, they are present here. They are movable joints.
Ma'am, so not all movable joints are synovial joints.
No. Yes, that is the point. Wherever you can see, but is synovial cavity, synovial fluid present in a vertebral column and hip bone? No, right?
No.
Here, it's not present. Synovial cavity and synovial fluid is not present here. Why?
Yes.
Because we don't want to move them so much.
Yes, ma'am.
But it is present here. It is present on our elbow. It is present on our knee because we move them often.
Yes, ma'am.
These are the most complex and versatile joints in the body. They are characterized by presence of synovial cavity filled with synovial fluid. So wherever you can say, like here also you have synovial joint. You have a synovial joint. Yes. Yeah. This is some activity given in your book. Roll a strip of paper into a cylinder and make a hole in a old. So clear with this till now.
Yes, ma'am.
Once again, we'll have a recap.
Sure, ma'am.
What are movable joints?
Movable joints are like we can freely move them.
Yeah, we can freely move. Wherever the movable joints are there, you will have a synovial joint there, right?
Ma'am, but we don't have like it in our hip.
Yeah, because it is not movable, it is slightly movable. Yes,
Ma'am, but it's given in the movable joints.
we are moving that, but the thing is like we are not moving them very often. And one more important thing to notice is where synovial fluid will be there. See here, one line will be there. The joints reduce friction during the movement. When you take knee, we have this diagram. I'll tell. See, when you take here, two bones are connected here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Bones are connected. If you take this elbow, this bone and this bone is connected. But when you take vertebral column, nothing is connected with anything. It's a straight line. Join
Yes.
the bone. Do you remember? Okay, I'll show you the picture. Spinal cord. If I show you spinal cord, you will understand it. See, exact picture I got it. See here. Synovial will be present wherever you have two joints attached to each other. No, then there only friction will be there. There only movement will be there. There only you need a cavity. There only you need a fluid. In this diagram, can you see? See very clearly. Can you see any bone is attached to any bone? No attachments. Straight line, right?
Ma'am, but each vertebrae is attached to other.
Each vertebrae is attached, but we are not moving the vertebrae as we move the elbow very frequently,
Yes, ma'am.
right? That is
Yeah,
what that is what now this joint. We were talking about this facet joints. See the
yes,
vertebral column. Here the vertebra starts. Here the vertebra starts.
yes, ma'am.
Are we moving this vertebra? Are we moving this one? Or we are moving this one?
Ma'am, we are
Very
minus.
carefully. I'll go to this picture. Are we moving this line or are we moving this one? Which one we
Ma'am,
are moving?
we
This
are
one
moving.
or this one? Straight line, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we can move only this one. We cannot move the side lines, horizontal lines. We cannot move. Only we can move the vertical lines.
Yes, ma'am.
So why do we need a synovial fluid there? No bone is attached to no bone. It's a
Yes,
straight line, right?
yes, ma'am.
Did you get why it is not there in our vertebral column, but it is there in elbows and all? Because why it is like that? Can you understand now?
Yes, ma'am.
Really, did you understand or just telling it?
Ma'am, I really understood.
Yeah. So why?
Ma'am, because we don't move it very frequently, and it's a straight line.
Correct. So we'll have a recap. Movable joints, the freely movable joints, like our elbow, our knee, those areas are freely movable.
Yes,
Simply the
ma'am.
ball and socket joints. Wherever you have ball and socket joints, hip, shoulder, and all, we can move very freely. And
Yes,
immovable joints. So you cannot move them, that skull. You cannot move them.
yes,
Slightly
ma'am.
movable joint is facet joint. That whatever we said, we were discussing the vertebral column here, the facet joint. You can slightly move them. When you move the vertebral column, slightly movement will be seen in here also. That's it.
Yes,
Slightly movable joint. And then fibrous joint. These joints are connected by dense connective tissue such as collagen fibers. Allow for little movement or no movement. They are also like no movement. Actually, this is this only. Immovable joints only. Just another time it just got copy pasted. Like same thing. It's just Xerox copy.
yes, ma'am.
We saw what is facet joints. Like facet joints are the joints that is here. Here exactly. If you see here, they will be present. Facet joints are slightly movable. That's it. Not fully movable.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we saw about this syndesmosis. What is syndesmosis? The fibrous tissue.
Yes, ma'am. It's a type of fibrous tissue.
Yes, type of fibrous tissue. Yes. And we saw here also syndesmosis only. And then we saw about cartilaginous joint. What is cartilage? What is cartilaginous joint? So what is synovial joint? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
This is just a pubic symphysis. And this diagram I'm showing you to show that we don't have any joints here. We don't have any one bone connected to another bone. I cannot say there is no joint here. I cannot say that will be wrong. But I can say there are no, there are joints, but it's not jointing one and two. There are little bit joints are there here and there to protect the structure and
Yes.
that and this, but not like elbow joints, not like your knee joints that like completely a joint that's going to connect to different parts of your body, not like that. Yes.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, to remember this, I'll tell you one more thing. You can see a joint in your naked eye here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
There is a joint. Can you see your there is any joint between the upper part and the lower part of your body, like back side? Can you see any joint? No, right?
No.
I'm telling the back side only, I'm saying. I can see there is joint here, but can I see any joint is here near the hip area or here? No, right?
No, ma'am.
Sensible joint. Basically, it's internal joints, you can say. In other words, you can say internal joints. So whenever it is internal joint, you don't have to have synovial fluid. It's not required, right?
Okay.
Coming to ball and socket joints. So roll a strip of paper into a cylinder, make a small hole in an old rubber or plastic ball, and push the paper cylinder into as shown. So basically, they're telling you to do this. So what is this ball and socket? It's actually a ball and socket. Does the paper cylinder also rotate? Imagine the paper cylinder is in your arm, the ball is in end, the ball is like the part of shoulder to which your arm is joined. The rounded end of the bone fits into the cavity. Basically, this is ball. This is going to be a paper ball and this is going to be paper cylinder or stick. So you are attaching the stick into the ball. There is a ball. Sorry, this is a ball. So a ball is attached to the stick. If I move the stick, it is rotating, right? It will
Yes.
obviously. That is what they are trying to tell about ball and socket joints. Examples of ball and socket joint we already spoke about. There's a lot. Hip joint,
Yes, ma'am.
shoulder joint, right? So clavicle. So this is the shoulder joint. Joint here and here. Elbow joint and shoulder joint. In human body, there are 4 ball and socket joint. Remember, okay? Right shoulder, right hip, left hip.
Okay.
In human body, there are 4 ball and socket joints. Right shoulder, right hip, left hip. Okay?
Yes.
And even the elbow is not coming under ball and socket joint. The elbow is not coming under ball and socket joint. I think it's coming under hinge joint, right?
Yes, ma'am. Hinge joint. Knee and elbow.
Elbow comes under hinge joint. Wait.
Ma'am, it was under movable joints.
Movable joint, that is right. We'll paste that in slide. When Bhavish reads, he will also help. Hinge joints allow movement in only one plane. We know that. The knee joint, elbow joint, ankle joint, and the joints between the phalanges are the example of hinge joints.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
What are phalanges?
Ma'am?
Phalanges. I'm not getting the picture. I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to see the picture also, right? Knee joint, elbow joint, ankle joint between the phalanges. Yeah, I was asking you what is phalanges.
Ma'am, I don't know.
Don't know? Please. Here, no? You have a joint here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Those are phalanges.
Ma'am, those are hinge?
Yeah. No. Phalanges. They are called as phalanges.
Okay.
So joint between your knee, elbow, ankle, and joint between your phalanges. Here. These
Ma'am, so the joint between the phalanges is hinge?
Yeah. I mean, the joint here, you have a joint here, you have a joint here, you have a joint here, right? These joints are called as hinge joints. They are also coming under hinge.
Yes.
And called as phalanges. No, the That name is phalanx.
Yes.
Okay. This is a phalanx. This is a phalanx. This is a phalanx. You have 3 phalanx connected by 2 joints here, right? One finger. You take a finger. You have 2 joints in the finger. The 3 parts are there. The 3 parts are connected by 2 joints, right? Correct. That is phalanges. So I'll show you the image. Wait.
Ma'am, can you send the PPT in resources?
I will send. Surely I will. Wait. I got an image. I'll share with you. Oh, yeah. I'll say phalanges. Yes. Can you see whatever I said? Yes. Can you see? See, they
Yes.
have they have the names also. The upper ones are called as distal phalanges. The blue one, that is second one, is called as intermediate phalanges. Last one is called the last one, proximal phalanges. You don't have to memorize. Just for your curiosity, I got a picture. Yeah.
Yes.
And the joints here are called as
Dist.
no. The joints. Here you
Ma'am,
have
the
joints.
hinge.
Yeah, hinge. Correct. Hinge joints. Correct. Understood now? For a phalanges, hinge joints. So we were in this slide. Okay, so you have to remember this. There are 4 ball and socket joints in our whole body: right shoulder, right hip, left hip. And hinge joints allow movements in one plane only. And I'm talking about this is ball and socket joint. Now we are talking about hinge joint. In knee
Yes.
joint, elbow joint, ankle joint, joints between the phalanges are the example of hinge joints. Okay?
Yes.
The phalange. Now coming to the formal definition. So before we saw an activity. Okay, this is an activity based. It's an activity. So now we will talk about formal. What is ball and socket joint? The smooth joint with a hemispherical head that fits within a cup-like depression is called ball and socket joint. I'll draw the diagram. Listen here. Smooth joint, hemispherical head. Hemispherical head. Hemisphere, half circle. Hemisphere. Sphere is full sphere. Hemi is half sphere. Head that fits within a cup-like depression. You have a depression here. You fit in that. It's called this kind of joints. It's called ball and socket joint. So wherever you have a hemisphere, you have a depression. It fits. Bone fits there. Ball and socket joint. This type of joints help in rotational or circular movements, obviously. So I can rotate my full hand like this. No? I can rotate, right? So wherever you can see the rotation or circular movement, the bone, that kind of joint is ball and socket, right? When I take elbow joint, that is hinge joint, I can do like this, I can do like this, but I cannot go downwards. I cannot go downwards, right? Can I go downwards like this? No. Only one plane is possible. One axis is possible. Only this side I can move. I cannot go the opposite side, my elbow. There is no ball and socket joint. But if there is a ball and socket joint, 360-degree movement is possible. Yes, we discussed about this in the very first class. Remember? Like what are the bones we can move 360-degree and all, right? Examples of ball and socket joint are shoulder and hip joints. Yes, why hip joint? You can move your hip also 360-degree. Do rotate 360-degree, right? You can
Yes.
You can move the full body 360-degree. Hip joint, right?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, neck is pivot joint, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So why it is pivot and why it's not ball and socket? Think. I'll give you 2 minutes. Neck also you can move 360-degree, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.